KSTP, Minnesota's News Channel 5. Now, live, this is Eyewitness News.
These pictures tell it all as an inferno rips through the Gluek Restaurant and Bar in Minneapolis. Tonight, this is all that's left of that downtown landmark.
And good evening, everybody. Firefighters are still on the scene tonight of what used to be Gluek's.
And word from the scene just minutes ago, the 7 people who'd been unaccounted for are okay tonight. But firefighters suspect someone smoking in bed caused all of this. 38-year-old Gary Labar died of smoke inhalation, and 4 others remain in serious condition tonight after fire swept through the restaurant and gutted low-rent apartments. Some 40 people are homeless tonight and staying in shelters until permanent housing can be found. Lee Hutmaker escaped with only the shirt on his back, but says he considers himself lucky. The Labar family
eventually I can, that can be replaced, but you can't replace poor, like old Gary there.
The Labar family is understandably in shock tonight. Gary Labar was a triplet. Jeff Crilly spoke to his brothers.
I wasn't part of myself, but I always have a spot in my heart for him.
Labar had lived in the apartment for 4 years. His brothers say he was a heavy sleeper. The Gluek's has been run by the same family since 1902, and today Linda and Dave Holcomb were stunned to see the place gone. They'd hoped to take over after their father, Lee Holcomb, decides to retire.
I go to school at Wisconsin Stout, restaurant management, and so I've been planning on, going in with my dad on this, and then.
But I've worked here for like 11 years. It's incredible. I can't believe it.
Lee Holcomb says he hopes the building can be restored. He'd like to rebuild right on the site.
Well, Gluek's is something of an institution here in the Twin Cities area, and the fire is not going to change that one bit. We searched our Channel 5 archives tonight to help you better understand the rich tradition the original Gluek's Brewery has brought to Minnesota. These black and white scenes of the Gluek Brewery date to the early 1950s, but this was the very same place in northeast Minneapolis where the original brewery was started. That was in 1857, 9 years before Minneapolis officially became a city. The founding father was German immigrant Gottlieb Gluek. He was a young old man of 29 when he started bottling his namesake brew, and right away, Gluek clicked with the beer crowd. In fact, by the turn of the century, only 4 other breweries in Minnesota could boast bigger production. But Prohibition put the brakes on all that. Those 13 dry years dried up more than half the state's breweries, gone forever. But Gluek survived, weaker all right, but still full of fight and full of stite. That's a malt liquor that hit it big in the early 40s. And at that time, it was said Minnehaha Falls and Gluek Brewing were both landmarks of Minneapolis, the difference being that Gluek never runs dry. But it did run dry. In 1964, its products outmarketed and outsold by bigger labels. Gluek was sold to one of the giants, G. Heilemann of La Crosse, and thus died the brew they said sounded like Gluek, Gluek, Gluek as it poured from bottle to glass. The beer that speaks for itself, said the ads of the day. And if it couldn't survive the competition, it did survive the fires. In 1890, flames of mysterious origin gutted the brewery, hops, stocks, and barrels. And just 4 years ago, the old Gluek family mansion on Mount Curve survived yet another fire. But then there was today's, at the building that once housed Gluek's main offices off Hennepin Avenue. And the owner says it's an historical as well as a personal loss.
The building has been in our family for 55 years and means a lot to us, and it's on the city historical registry, and just a nice looking building, so I want to try to protect it.
And it looks like Gluek's maybe survived this one too. Just a short time ago, Lee Holcomb told us the fire department feels the building can be saved.
Confrontations continue tonight in Polk County, Wisconsin, as residents protest Indian spirit.